Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance, and today I'm going to install this pre-hung door into this opening. I'm going to show you the tools and the techniques that I use to do that and the process in which I do it. This is a flat jamb as opposed to a split jamb. Split jambs are what your home centers are going to carry, but they also will normally carry at least one of the solid jambs, and it's a 4 9/16, which deals with if you've got 2x4 framing and 1/2 inch drywall on both sides, which is what I have here. So typically they might stock this size, but the thing I like about flat jambs is I run into a lot of places where I need different sizes, and you can pretty much order these to whatever you want to. I also prefer these because I think that they're easier to install better. A split jamb might be easier to install, but I like the way I can put shims and things in this kind of a jamb as opposed to the split jamb. And I always order mine without trim because I do my own trim, and then also the trim that typically comes on doors pre-assembled is usually not installed all that great anyways. So if I'm gonna have to redo it, I just order it without it. So I'm going to show you what the steps that I go through to install a door like this into an opening. Hopefully you'll get something out of it, or maybe you can tell me some techniques that you use in place of some of the things that I do. Again, always willing to learn, always appreciate the comments. But I'm gonna put the GoPro on, I'm gonna install the door, I'll explain things as I go, but I hope this video is useful. So there's several things that I do first before I even touch the door and begin the process of putting it in, kind of as quality control, because I run into it a lot where these jambs are not the same length. So I like to always double check that, because that will throw off everything. And I'm at 81 3/4 there. And 81 3/4 there, so that's good. So now that I know the jamb's good, I check my rough opening, make sure I've got room for the door. 38, should be by around 82. So we're good on those. And then the next thing that I do is I come up around 48 inches and I make a mark. Then I take my 4-foot level, put it on my mark until I'm level on the other side. And then I'm going to make a mark on this side. You need to come up just to here. So you can see I got 2 marks. I don't really need to know that that's level. What I need to know with those is what's the distance between here and the floor and here and the floor. On this side I'm at 48 as I measured, and this side I'm at 48 1/8. So that tells me that this floor is actually lower than what the floor is over here. So I need to subtract the difference. If I'm 48 1/8, I need to cut 1/8 off of my shorter measurement, which this is going to be my hinge side. So I need to take 1/8 off of my jamb on my hinge side before I ever even set the door in here. Because if not, when I set it in here, if I don't adjust the jamb, the door is going to kick up like this. And that's going to cause 2 things. My gap around my top is going to be off, and then also my lock set is going to be off. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut 1/8 inch off of my shorter measurement, which is 48, and this is my hinge side. So I'm going to take 1/8 off the jamb here. And again, you think that that small amount, what's it matter? But again, it's just going to create something later that's going to save me the hassle of trying to get the door where I want it to be. This would affect, again, the gap at the top and the lock set. Now that I got the jamb adjusted, I'm going to lift it up. This is a solid core door. I know I'm making it look like it's a hollow core door just by my sheer strength. So this is a solid core door. It's fairly heavy. It's a 3.0 by 6.8 door or 36-inch door. So I can easily move this by myself if I wanted to get it into place, but then to hold it where I want it and all those things. I have this product called Door Stud, and you attach it to the bottom of your door and it allows you to level out the door, also plumb it out, and then it just rolls on the floor and gets into place where you want it. So you can see with the door studs on now, I can easily move this door however I want to. It stands up by itself. I don't have to worry about holding it. So big thing if you work by yourself and install doors, I would highly recommend that product. Especially I've used them on 6 foot wide doors, double doors, solid core. They adjust for 1 3/4 thick doors. I think this set here will do 1 3/4 and 1 3/8. They sell another set for bigger commercial doors if you do those as well. All right, next thing is I'm going to check my framing to see, because I basically want my hinge side to already be level before I put the door in. That way I can just put the door in. I don't have to adjust anything at that point. I can just screw it and call it a day and it will be good. So I'll take my stability plate level, adjust it to the height of the door. I don't know if you can see the level there, but looks pretty good. But just for sakes of checking it digitally, we can see I'm at 90.0. So my framing's good. I don't have any kind of a gap, so I don't even have to put any shims on this whatsoever. I'm just going to stick the jamb of the door straight against it, screw it in place, and then I'll work on my reveal on the opposite side of the latch and the strike. Another thing to check that I would normally take out here is if they had the plastic piece in. They do not have it, but this door has nails into the door here and another one up here. I need to make sure I get those out before I put the door in place. I've done it before where I've installed the door and there's been a nail holding it somewhere, and it's not good. Now that I got the nails out, it's a matter of with the door studs, I can roll the door right into place. So another nice thing about the door studs are that I can now open the door and it gives the door support to where it won't tip as much on me. So I can open it and now press that jamb right back into where it needs to go. So again, remember, now that my framing is 100% level, I'm not going to do any shimming on this side, because it doesn't matter if my door is centered in the space. Now if you have a door that you need the same exact trim, maybe it's inset, and you need trim on one side to be say 3 inches and on the other side 3 inches, you have to play with the shims on both sides to make it to where you get that trim to match out. It doesn't matter here. I can just screw this right to it. So I'm going to take out this middle screw on all the hinges. I'm going to replace the short screw with long screws and make sure that I'm lining up my jamb as I'm doing that. And I go ahead and tighten up the rest of the screws. And again, if you're using an impact, you don't want to go hard at it. You just want it to be snug. I usually set my surge on 1, or typically I won't even use an impact. I'll use my installation driver, but I'm gonna double check the door. $89.99.90, so I'm good. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put some trim screws in on this side. I usually put a few trim screws in the stop, just close to where the staple marks are. I've got to putty that anyways, so might as well put some screws in there. So you could also use like a 15 gauge nailer. I used to use that all the time, but I don't have one at the moment, so that's why I'm using trim screws, but I actually like the control of that better. And now that I got that side screwed off, I can remove the door studs. And you can see that the door is staying like it should. So now it's a matter of shimming off and working on this latch side. Now that I got my jamb side secure, I just want to show you guys, again, the door's working well. I put the cutoff piece that I cut off the jamb originally. Remember my step of making a mark, measuring down, and cutting off my jamb prior to installing. I put that piece back in under there to show you that had I not cut it off, you can see my reveal is tighter here and getting bigger. And then also you can see on my lock set that they're not lining up very well. The jamb side is a lot higher than my door side. So now if I take that little piece out, the piece I cut off, and let that jamb go to the floor, you can see my lock now lines up correctly as it should. My reveal is much better. It's very much the same. So again, that little step at the very beginning, measure up, just pick a measurement. I like to pick a straight measurement, and then that way it's easier for me to tell the difference. This was 48 inches, 48 1/8, a heavy eighth. So this is longer. That means that the floor is lower over here and higher over here. So I needed to cut the difference. So if it's 48 and 48 1/8, I need to cut an 1/8 inch off of my shorter measurement side. That seems backwards. It seems like you should cut it off the longer. But again, this measurement is shorter because the floor is higher. So if you cut some off, it's gonna lower that jamb down to the same as what this one's gonna end up being. So again, very important step. Don't just throw your door in there and hope it turns out right. Most of the time, your floor is not level. So now it's a matter of just taking shims, shimming off this side and working the reveal. I'm gonna start at the top because my reveal is pretty good up here. It's going to be because this is actually solid, so I like to start at the top and work my way down. Once I like where it is, I'll put a screw through where the shims are. I typically will do at least 4 places, sometimes 5. Another thing I'll typically do when I shim is I leave the gap a little bit tighter than what I actually want it, because it's going to suck back in a little bit. So you can see I've got this one smaller than this and all the way up. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it that way. And I'm not sure how the GoPro shows those gaps. You might not can even tell anything. All right, guys, my reveal looks good all the way up, all the way across. And again, I'm not sure how the GoPro is going to show that. Might not show it all too well. But now all that's left to do is cut the shims off, put on trim, and we're good. All right, guys, so there's the door finished, installed. Again, I got lucky that my framing was good on the hinge side. I didn't have to do any shimming, but if it wasn't, what I do is I always just mark where the hinge locations are. I'll take my plate level and I'll shim my plate level until I get those shims to where I want the jamb to be, and then that way it's the same process. I still just put the door in, screw it off. I don't have to finagle with it while I'm working on that. Again, the door studs help tremendously with that anyways. If you're a person that installs doors by yourself, highly recommend. They're expensive, but if you're a person that puts in a lot of doors, well worth the money. Again, the most important part that I like to do is I like to measure up 48 inches, throw me a level across there, and then take those 2 measurements and then adjust the jamb before I ever stick it in. But you can see the reveal is good. All the way down the side. Hopefully the camera shows that anyways. My latch is where it needs to be. The door is holding well like it needs to be. So I'm gonna go around now and give you a little quick update on the stairwell project. I've got these doors all trimmed out. I don't have the trim here to do this, so I'm not gonna be able to do it today. I was gonna put that in with this video, but I might have to go to the store, so I'm not gonna take the time to do that. I was able to get the hallway trimmed out as well. Had to make myself a jamb for in here because it was wider than any other board that I could get, and it was going to take a while for me to order some 16-inch wide boards. So I took 2 boards, pocket hold them together, glued them together, and then ripped a line in the middle to make it look like it's supposed to be that way. It kind of looks similar to what this door jamb looked like, because this was an extended jamb as well. So I tried to mimic that, was able to get that done. The hallway tile has all been done, it's grouted. And then as far as in the kitchen, we've got it grouted over here. We had to do half and grout it so we could move this big freezer over. It's been having to stay in here and hooked up the whole entire time. It's been a little bit of a pain, but we've been making it work. Got the rest of this tile laid today. We get grouted tomorrow, and then hopefully the cabinets are going to be coming in right behind this, and we'll be able to get moving on those. Demoed out the double doors, so those are gone. That's going to get framed in, and then a 42-inch single door will go here. Also demoed out this door. We're going to continue the tile, but that'll be this tile going on down through that hallway. And the reason why we swapped tile in here is because they no longer make this tile, but we bought enough of it about 2 years ago to finish this project. But this was kind of a change. So we swapped over. It's the same exact color, just a different size. So we swapped over to this size tile in the kitchen. Ground the floor out here. It's prepped for tile. Nothing new down there, nothing new up here. We're gonna start tearing out that ceiling probably next week. And then in the kitchen, or in the guest room, nothing new in here as well, other than we did pick out the tile for the shower. It's gonna be this 3x6, just white subway type tile. Probably start on that in the next day or so too, but nothing new's really been done in here. So no update on this. We've actually been pulled off of this job all of last week for the most part. Didn't even work over here at all. Worked on some other projects. So we've got quite a bit done considering the amount of time that we've actually worked over here. So again, that was installing the flat jamb door and just a little bit of an update on this project. Let me know what you think about this video. Again, appreciate each and every one of you. Appreciate your comments, all those things. This door I also changed over and ripped down the trim because this door was set in. This was already here. I didn't put that in, but I adjusted the trim so that the top of it matches the top of what will be these doors trims, because I thought that that would look weird if I put this same size trim on there. It would be up a lot higher than the rest of the doors. I thought that was the way to go. You guys let me know what you think. Should I have ripped that down, or should I have went with the same size? But it's probably hard for you to tell on video to get a good idea, but I think that that would have looked weird with that being up about really 3 inches taller than these two doors. But again, it's just a quick update. Hope that the video was useful for you on the doors. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And again, I hope you guys stay safe. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys on the next video.